Hi everybody, this is Joshua Kirk here with you once again, and now I'm back here for episode 61 of Album of the Day, which, I haven't been doing reviews lately, but I just wanted to get back onto it, so I'm gonna, do another review here. Excuse me. So today's review is for an album that I've been in love with for a very long time. It's by a band that I particularly enjoy, by the name of They Might Be Giants, which I've reviewed They Might Be Giants about twice on this channel. I reviewed Lincoln, great album, and I reviewed Flood, an even better album. And now we're here to review their fourth album, released in March of 1992. The album is called Apollo 18. And sorry if my voice sounds raspy, it's just I have phlegm this morning. Excuse me. The album is called Apollo 18. It's They Might Be Giants' fourth album, and another one of my favorites by this very, very unique and definitely hilarious band from hailing from Brooklyn. And their last album as just a duo, since on their fifth album, John Henry, they started using a full band, like a human drummer, a human bass player, and they started using a human guitarist on Factory Showroom too. I do have a physical copy of Apollo 18, but I'm not going to show it because I don't have the full case for it. I just have the CD in a blank CD case, and it has no artwork. The reason I don't have the full case, it's the same story with my copy of Lincoln. Before I was born, there was a flood going on, and some of my parents' CD cases got wiped out by the flood, so now they're just in blank CD cases. So today I'm going to do something a little different. I'm just going to talk. I'm not going to show any cases or anything, unlike some of my other reviews where I do show the case because I have the whole thing of it. So this album opens with the fuzzed out rocker Dig My Grave, which is a song that features John Flansburgh singing into a fuzz box. So it's real so it's like the band's first use of a fuzz box to record vocals in. And then it's also accompanied by a string section too. It's just a short one. It's not really a track. It's not really a track. It's more an intro to the album because it's just a minute and a half pretty much of fuzzed out rock basically. And then following that is I, Palindrome, I, the live favorite, which carries on the band's tradition of really, really light and catchy melodies paired with some pretty dark lyrics. The lyrics on here definitely are pretty dark, so but this is sort of what, black comedy is sort of what the band does best, pretty much. And following that is the hilarious song, She's Actual Size, which features, some bass saxophone played by John Linnell, paired with a little bit of piano and a few little bits. And unlike the other songs that have a drum machine, this one has actual drums on it. But yeah, this song is hilarious. This song's hilarious, and this is the kind of song where you just kind of where I don't really need to explain it all that much. you just have to listen to yourself. You just have to listen to the song for yourself and let it speak for itself. It's that funny. But funny is pretty much what They Might Be Giants does best, pretty much. Then there's the song My Evil Twin, which talks about kind of, you know, human relations and just, not getting along with each other because you're together all the time. And, kind of doing the same things. And, it's kind of a song about how, there's that person in your life that you just have kind of love-hate relationship with because that person may be a little too similar to who you are, pretty much. So it's kind of a song about how lack of differences can make you feel pretty uncomfortable. Following that is the song Mamble, which is kind of a song that sort of shows how this band doesn't lay down on their job. The band definitely doesn't stop looking at research, to make sure their clever lyrics are accurate. They do a lot of research, that's for sure. So the song kind of, talks about these animals that are kind of maintaining a very high metabolism rate and all that stuff. And then there's the lead single off the album, "The Statue Got Me High," which kind of goes to some of the space themes that the album deals with, by the name Apollo 18, you can tell that this record deals with space themes. Like on this song, "The Statue Got Me High," and like the video for it definitely sort of shows the space theme that the album has as well. And it does, so it deals with a ton of things like space and death, stuff like that. Then the seventh track on here is "Spider," which is basically just Flansburgh and Linnell messing around with samples, and doing it in a pretty, clever way. This song is pretty funny. It's not really a song, but it's still pretty funny, because it shows the band just, it shows how, sometimes all you really need to do something entertaining is just a few samples and some weird little words of "Spider, here's our hero, Spider, get rid of Spider, step on Spider, Spider, we love you, Spider." Oh, man. Then following that is the longest song on the album, and probably one of the longest songs They Might Be Giants has done, "The Guitar." Usually They Might Be Giants will just do a song that's just a couple of minutes. This one is nearly 4 minutes. This song blends in a bunch of different elements, including a ska influenced guitar riff, some marching band trumpets, some snazzy saxophone, some reggae bongo beats, and then Laura Cantrell singing a "Lion Sleeps Tonight" inspired chorus on here. So it's like the band kind of blending in a ton of different things into one song. So they're trying to, make something interesting. It's kind of weird at first, but then it kind of feels the band they aren't really as weird as you think, even though sometimes they can definitely get weird, but definitely in a good way, for sure. Next, here's another funny track on here, "Dinner Bell," which is told from the point of view of a dog. like which is like told from the point of view of a dog, like like so it's like a pretty funny song that once again you just have to listen to this one for yourself, and let it speak for itself because it's that funny. Narrow Your Eyes is sort of shows the more reflective side of the band. That's more they're going for more personal lyrics on here. And then there's the song Hall of Heads, which has one musical stage after another with like westerny guitar and organ, and then following that there's like classical piano and violin. Then following that the tempo gets faster and a saxophone comes in. So yeah, it's one song where like the beginning in particular is pretty, adventurous of the band, pretty much. Which describes how you're feeling is a pretty short track to tie the record together. See the Constellation once again goes back to the space themes that the album is kind of dealing with a ton of adventurous stuff the band does on here. Like, they do little, like after the 1, 2, 3, 4 intro, they do a little loop of that goes like, eh, 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 eh. So it's like a pretty, distinctive loop that goes on throughout the song, with featuring like some pretty loud guitar and accompanied by accordion, and there's even the use of a sitar later in the song. Like, not sure who played that sitar, however. I don't think even Linnell and Flansburgh remember either whom played the sitar at the end. But yeah, the sitar is a really nice sound at the end. So it kind of makes sense because the band pretty much is very good at psychedelia, pretty much. And, and what would be psychedelia without a sitar, so yeah, it's definitely kind of like what George Harrison has been doing for the first time, blending in sitar into rock and roll. Then there's the song If I Wasn't Shy, which has more of a jazzy feel with the clarinet and the upright bass, which I assume is probably synthesized upright bass, because neither one of the members knows how to play upright bass. So yeah, it's definitely probably just a synthesizer rather than a real bass. Even though I heard there is real bass on the album too. And the song Turn Around is another pretty funny song. It's kind of a song that, once again deals with, death. Again, deals with death, and it has kind of a, like, and the ending, it's like kind of a drunken sing-along, almost. Especially at the end with the multi-tracked John Linnell at the end. And then the song Hypnotist of Ladies goes for more kind of straightforward rock on here. The one song in particular that I really want to take note about is the long song, by far maybe the longest song They Might Be Giants have ever recorded, Fingertips, which is basically 21 different mini tracks pulled together into this one 5-minute song. So Fingertips is definitely the one thing that I in particular want to discuss about this record. There's a ton of random stuff going on here with Fingertips. Whether it's like, there's stuff like I Heard a Sound, Please Pass the Milk. So there's a ton of random stuff going on, and it's a pretty adventurous piece because They Might Be Giants are going for a lot of stuff on here. Like, they're going for, like, things like psychedelia, rock and roll, gospel, like there's definitely a lot of stuff going on Fingertips. Like, Mysterious Whisper goes for kind of a gospel kind of feel. I Walk Along Darkened Corridors kind of sounds like, I Walk Along Darkened Corridors kind of sounds like something that I could hear maybe in some sort of like dramatic, like musical or something thing. I mean, there's really a lot of stuff going on here. So yeah, Fingertips is definitely probably the most adventurous thing They Might Be Giants have ever recorded, because it's many tracks culled into one 5-minute song, and they do it in like the pretty much the best way possible here with this piece, and then it closes with the song Spacesuit, which isn't really a song, more just an instrumental, more an outro to the album, which has these, the song wasn't really called Spacesuit until the synthesizer sounds were added. At first it was just accordion and guitar and a drum machine, but then they added some real spacey synth sounds, and then they changed the name to Spacesuit. And John Landsberg even does some vocalization on here, like he sings the accordion line on here, like way in the background. So yeah, oh, sorry about that. So Apollo 18 is really an album that is highly recommended. This album, along with Lincoln and Flood, are my 3 favorite They Might Be Giants records of all time. I still think the best stuff that they've done is definitely some of the stuff that they've done when they were just a duo, that's for sure. It's for sure funny lyrics, very creative musical concepts, and of course, those harmonies that we all know and love from this Brooklyn twosome here. So I give Apollo 18 a 9 out of 10. So if you haven't heard They Might Be Giants, I would recommend maybe starting with Flood, Flood would be a good introduction, because that was my very first that was the very first They Might Be Giants record I ever heard. Lincoln and Flood, it took me a while before I actually heard those records, but I love those albums, so I definitely recommend. So Lincoln would probably be a good start, and Apollo 18 would probably be a good one to start with too. I recommend starting with what they were doing as a duo. So that was my review on They Might Be Giants, Apollo 18. I'll see you for episode 62.